7 towns in the UK with the highest rate of unemployment. The UK job market tells two stories. In some places, tech hubs, financial centres, and logistics corridors are thriving. But in others, unemployment is not just a statistic, it's part of daily life. As the UK unemployment crisis 2025 continues to unfold, it becomes clear that some towns are disproportionately affected. This video explores the 7 towns in the UK with the highest rate of unemployment using the latest claimant count figures from the Office for National Statistics and Nomis. These are the towns often overlooked in national headlines, yet they tell us the most about inequality, regional stagnation, and the urgency of targeted investment. 7. Hyndburn, Accrington, Lancashire. Tucked away in East Lancashire, Hyndburn is centred around the town of Accrington, a name familiar to fans of British history, football and industry. Once known for producing the world-famous Accrington brick, this borough now finds itself grappling with economic challenges that reflect a wider national pattern. As of early 2025, the claimant count in Hyndburn stands at 5.8%, well above the UK average of just over 4.1%. This rate puts Hyndburn firmly on the list of jobless towns in England, and many of its wards are among the most deprived in the northwest. Part of the problem lies in industrial decline. While remnants of the textile and manufacturing industries survive, most jobs today are in low-paid sectors like retail, warehousing, or casual services. Health inequalities, skill shortages, and poor transport connectivity further reduce the employment prospects of residents, particularly in areas such as Church and Peel. There have been efforts to revitalise the local economy, including small business grants and regeneration funding, but many residents still struggle to find meaningful, long-term employment. 6. Blackburn with Darwen, Lancashire. Neighbouring Hyndburn is the borough of Blackburn with Darwen, where the claimant count hovers around 6.0%. This places Blackburn among the towns in the UK with the highest unemployment rate and highlights the challenges faced by post-industrial communities in Lancashire. Blackburn was once a booming textile powerhouse. However, like many northern towns, the collapse of its manufacturing base led to a long-term economic downturn. While some progress has been made through investment in education and the digital economy, areas like Bastwell, Audley and Shadsworth still record high levels of joblessness. One of the key barriers is access to skills. Educational outcomes in Blackburn are improving, but still trail behind national averages. Many working-age adults lack the qualifications or digital training necessary for modern employment. Combined with health concerns and rising costs of living, the search for work becomes a daily uphill battle. Despite efforts by the council to promote apprenticeships and career services, Blackburn remains one of the worst towns for jobs in the UK. Unless more high-value sectors are attracted to the area, many of its communities will remain stuck in economic limbo. 5. Pendle, Nelson and Colne, Lancashire. Located in the foothills of the Pennines, Pendle includes the towns of Nelson and Colne, both steeped in industrial heritage. While picturesque in parts, Pendle is facing serious economic challenges. The borough's claimant count rate sits at 6.4%, marking it as one of the most job-deprived towns in the UK. Historically reliant on textiles and engineering, Pendle never fully recovered from the decline of these industries. Many of the jobs that have emerged in recent years are in hospitality or light manufacturing, sectors that often provide irregular hours and limited security. The area also faces geographic disadvantages. It lacks major motorway links, making it harder to attract big employers. Local rail and bus connections are patchy, particularly in more rural wards. In Nelson's Whitefield and Bradley areas, joblessness remains stubbornly high, and poverty rates are among the highest in Lancashire. the council is currently working on a strategy involving transport upgrades, business incubation, and town centre regeneration. But until more skilled jobs are created, Pendle will continue to feature in conversations about the UK unemployment crisis 2025. 4. Slough, Berkshire. Slough might not fit the image of a struggling town. It's in the southeast near London and hosts major corporations on its famous trading estate. But a deeper look reveals that not all residents benefit equally from that proximity to prosperity. The town's claimant count fluctuates between 5.3% and 6.4%, depending on the specific ward and population group. These figures put it well above the national average and place it squarely on this list of towns with the highest unemployment rates in the UK. Slough's paradox is one of inequality. It has jobs, many of them, but it also has a large population working in low-paid sectors like cleaning, transport, and warehouse logistics. In communities such as Chalvey, Britwell, and Langley, opportunities for career advancement are limited, and educational attainment remains a concern. The cost of living in Slough has skyrocketed, especially housing. This has forced many families into financial strain, even when someone in the household is working. For those not in work, the high cost of training, childcare, and transport creates further barriers to employment. Efforts are underway to address the inequality, including new skills academies and housing initiatives. But for many, Slough remains a town of unrealised opportunity, and for some, outright struggle. 3. Burnley, Lancashire. Burnley continues to carry the scars of industrial collapse. Despite several regeneration projects and public-private partnerships, the town still records a claimant count of 6.3%, making it one of the worst towns for jobs in the UK. Once a major textile centre, Burnley has shifted its focus toward the aerospace sector, advanced manufacturing, and logistics. Yet these industries haven't translated into widespread job growth, particularly in the town's most deprived areas such as Daneshouse, Stonyholme, and Gano. Many jobs that are available tend to be part-time or seasonal, and the town's relatively poor transport connectivity makes commuting to better-paying jobs elsewhere difficult for some residents. The educational profile of the town also shows gaps in STEM and digital skills, two areas critical to employability in 2025. Burnley's town centre has seen redevelopment, and the local council continues to promote innovation hubs and business grants. However, the pace of recovery has been slow. The UK unemployment crisis 2025 is sharply felt here, especially among younger people entering the workforce with few clear pathways forward. 2. Blackpool, Lancashire. Blackpool is often seen as a symbol of British seaside nostalgia, but behind the amusement arcades and historic piers lies one of the most job-deprived towns in the UK. With a claimant count of 6.5%, Blackpool ranks second on this list and has long struggled with high unemployment rates. Blackpool's local economy is dominated by tourism and hospitality, which offer many jobs, but most of them are temporary, low-wage, and seasonal. This leaves many residents in a cycle of short-term contracts and periods of joblessness. The seasonal nature of work means unemployment spikes in winter months and dips slightly in summer. Neighbourhoods such as Bloomfield, Brunswick, and Claremont face deep-rooted deprivation, where unemployment is compounded by housing instability, addiction, mental health challenges, and limited access to support services. Educational outcomes in Blackpool are also among the lowest in the country. Despite government support through the £39.5 million town deal and new cultural investment, structural unemployment remains a serious issue. Blackpool has the potential to reinvent itself, but for many, the recovery feels like a promise that's always just out of reach. 1. Middlesbrough, North East England. Sitting at the top of the list is Middlesbrough, with a claimant count of 6.1% and even higher rates in specific neighbourhoods. While this rate might seem close to others on this list, Middlesbrough stands out because of the depth and persistence of its economic challenges. Once a centre for iron, steel and shipping, Middlesbrough's fortunes changed dramatically with the decline of British heavy industry. Despite the rise of digital and green technologies across the Tees Valley region, the benefits have not been evenly distributed. Wards like North Ormsby, Brambles Farm and Pallister face unemployment rates well above the borough average. Middlesbrough also has one of the lowest life expectancies and highest child poverty rates in the UK. Generational unemployment, poor health and educational barriers compound the town's problems, making it arguably the most economically challenged town in England. Tees Valley Combined Authority is actively working to regenerate the region through the Freeport Initiative, green energy projects and new apprenticeships. But for now, Middlesbrough remains a powerful example of how the UK unemployment crisis plays out in real life. These towns reflect a side of the UK that doesn't always make the headlines. Places where people are willing to work but face real barriers to doing so. If economic recovery is to be fair, it must include every corner of the country, especially these towns still waiting for their turnaround. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell.